Today we're going to be doing the Homestead building project series. It's a follow-up on our big propane tank that we just got. So we're going to go ahead and review what we got and see what's done so far, so stay tuned. Hello folks, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We purchased this 500-gallon propane tank from a private party, so we own it and we don't have to pay leasing fees to the gas company. But before they can come and hook it up or fill it up, it's already hooked up. Before they can come and fill it up, we had to dig a trench line and then put some features on the tank and the house and then lay in the gas line. Now everything has to be to code and regulation, and so that's what I'm going to do in this video, is just show you what I purchased and then also the $79, I think it's 95 cents for the permit for the code inspector to come out and make sure it's done precise. So let's go ahead and review what we have. Of course, right here under the bubble is my different fill valves, vent valves, draw valves. This is the main service valve. It has a valve on it. And this is the bleeder valve. This is a gauge that shows how full the tank is. Now this is a 500-gallon rated tank, but it only fills to 400 gallons. You can only fill these things and leave 10% space in there for expansion, because as the weather warms, the gas will expand, and so you don't want to overfill these tanks. And then you got your fill valve, and then you've got another one here. So, and this is just well, it's a cap. It keeps everything in the tank. And I noticed there's one underneath the tank also. So what I purchased for this tank is, this is what's called a first stage regulator. This mounts right on this bracket on the tank. I mounted it appropriately and put that in here. And then my plumber came in, looked at it, and then we went ahead and plumbed the rest of this stuff. And he's pulling the permits and we'll get it inspected. The other thing that was purchased is this flexible gas line. That's what you'll need to service your buried gas line from the tank. I have it going into an emergency shutoff valve that I purchased special for our area. We're prone to earthquakes, so I want the gas to be turned off out here at the source where the tank is. When the earth shakes, that way gas won't be going through the line up to the house. It shuts off right here. And that's a pretty nifty gadget, pretty simple. Of course, we've got this riser. It's a metal riser with a gas pipe in it. And then that's what's exposed to the ground. And it's metal, so it'll protect the gas line. And also, I put this tape. It's a metallic tape for tracing the plastic gas line. So if in the future, when I'm long gone, somebody comes through, buys the homestead, and wants to go do some plowing or rototilling, they can do a line search with a metal detector and find out exactly where this line is, so they don't dig it up. Now the code for the depth of the line in our building code area is 18 inches. And this line, this tape should be 9 inches above that, so basically halfway up. And those are the codes when I've researched them on how they want them to be. And of course that line runs all the way up to the house to another riser. Now I bought 100-foot worth of this plastic gas pipe and 2 connectors, and this is where it connects to each riser. Now again, I have some connectors and valves up here on this end where the house is at. And this is a stage 2 regulator. This keeps the water column set for propane going into the house and the gas line. Now I have a union I put here so we can service it, disconnect and service if we need to. And I put in another valve there because I wanted 2 valves on this end, because if I have to, I can disconnect the second stage regulator from the gas line, and I can tap into that with a portable propane tank with another regulator and still service the house. And that's only if we're unable to get propane up here, like in the long winter months, or if we have a disaster and propane can't get here. But I can take a smaller bottle to a source, get some propane up here, and then we can tap into that and get it, at least get some propane into the house. And that's why I did that there. Besides, it's code. You have to have a union there. So that's what my plans for that is. Now, it's unfortunate with our geology here. We have a really hard pan rock that is, for the most part, is only this deep under the surface of the ground. In some places it's lesser, and in even my backyard it's nothing. I've got no grass growing in a spot because the rock is on the surface. I have to bring a bunch of soil and backfill that and bring it up so I can plant grass over there, cover it up. And you'll see where the pond is. Yeah, this is all bare rock going into the pond. So this is what I'm dealing with throughout my property, with no exception with this trench. So about, I would say, a fourth of this trench, about 20, this is a 100-foot long trench. So about 25 foot of this trench, we could not get to that 18-inch code depth. We could only get maybe 12 inches at the deepest because of that hard pan rock. But there is a solution for that. I'm ordering a dump truck load of dirt, and we're going to dump dirt over the top of it and then plant grass. That way we can just still meet that code requirement and just put dirt over the top of it to maintain that 18-inch grade that you need for burying gas lines. We're not going to mess around with this because this is, well, it's gas. You don't want an explosion. A little bit of a disclaimer here. I am not an expert at anything. I'm not a professional propane installer. I'm a homeowner. I hired a plumber to come in and do the actual guidance and work. He allowed me to do some stuff, but for the most part, he's pulling the permits. Then the county has to come up and inspect. Of course, I have to have the load of dirt here when it's here so he can see, but the pit has to be open so he can see the depth and he can see the pile of dirt that, yeah, I have full intentions of getting it down to that grade. And then this is not a how-to video. This is just a video introducing to you guys what steps I took at buying a tank and getting all the products in place. See, I purchased all the products, so it saved me money from having to pay all that markup charges to the plumber. All I have to do is just take care of his time. That's it. So it's perfect. Anyway, this is it. Not a how-to, but this is what I've done so far. And hopefully my goal and intention is to provide a suitable amount of propane for the house. Because in the event of a disaster, we're going to be without services. Propane can't get service to the area if the power grid's knocked down. Local companies can't even pump the propane into your cylinders or bottles because they don't have power to run the pumps from the propane tanks into your tank. So we intend on putting another propane bottle down there, another 500-gallon one, so we'll have 800 gallons on inventory, and then we could fill up once every 2 years or once every year, and the more we get, the better discount we get, and we can buy the propane at its lowest point, cost points per gallon. So, and delivered is like down at the market. If I take my little cylinder down to the market and fill it up, right now they're charging $2.20 a gallon. I can have the company come up and fill that tank, and I think they quoted me $1.67 per gallon, so I'll be saving about 50, 60 cents. Yeah, I'll be saving 60 cents a gallon. And that adds up when you're pumping 500 gallons of propane. But then we'll have that extra burden lifted off that I can keep the house warm. We have fuel for cooking, among other advantages of having propane gas, hot water, for instance. Well, I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, or a small homestead tucked up in the Pacific Northwest Cascade Mountains around Crater Lake. It's getting cold right now because the sun's going down. Please stay tuned for more videos. We'll be generating more shows coming up here shortly. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, click that bell icon up there. That alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Also, if you would, click that share button and share our videos on your social media platforms. That's how to promote our show. We'll see you guys in another video. Stay warm, stay safe. Bye-bye.